Hello YouTubers, this is Cessnaace back again with another 10 video ads video, this time concentrating on LaserDiscs. I meant to do this video a couple of days ago, but a couple of nights ago I fell and landed on my neck. So I spent the last few days going to doctor after doctor after doctor and having x-rays done, and I'm currently pumped full of muscle relaxers, but I'm still in pain, so if I make any noises while I move about, please understand. Also, I have limited range as far as how far I can move my neck. This first LaserDisc is one that I purchased from a seller located in Hong Kong, although it's a Japanese release. This disc is naughty naughty, so I have been trying to figure out how to show it. I cannot show the rear of the jacket at all, but I think I can get away with showing part of the front. Okay, that's as far as I dare go. What I find interesting is the actress that is in this adult film also has laser discs of her doing concerts, music concerts. This was posed by a company I never heard of, even though I have well over 50 Japanese laser discs. I'd never heard of Cosmo's Disc, which is the publisher of this. The reference number, if you want to look it up, is 88ULC-02. It's a bare bones release. It only has analog audio without CX noise reduction, no digital audio. But it's entered in at my collection at the LaserDisc database. I've entered all these in at the database. If you wish to look at my collection, it's viewable for anybody to see. Just do a member search for Cessnaace. It's spelled the same there as it is here, and you'll be able to see what I have. Now, this next batch of LaserDiscs came from someone I've dealt with before, AJ's Video Recyclery. Now, I order both LaserDiscs and CED video discs from AJ's, and what I think is cool is he always throws in a Brucey bonus. It's always been a CED video disc that he throws in for free, but I appreciate the gesture. Brucey bonus, by the way, I got from my good buddy X-File2708. First up from AJ's, we have Hot Pursuit from Paramount Home Video. LV32082. And of all of the LaserDiscs that I have from Paramount Home Video, this is only the second one to have the audio recorded in ultra stereo. The other one being Back to the Beach. Ultra stereo you see a lot with low budget films such as those released by Academy and the various Roger Corman labels like New Horizons and New Concord and so forth. So I was rather surprised the first time I ran across a disc with audio and ultra stereo from Paramount. There's a second one. Woody Allen film Husbands and Wives. This is one I've never seen. It's in widescreen. This is an interesting one, and kind of weird. Film, I'm not talking about the film, I'm talking about the LaserDisc release. The film is La Femme, Nikita, published by Vidmark Entertainment. What's weird about this one is that while it is letterboxed and supposedly widescreen, it says widescreen edition, it's not that correct aspect ratio. The film was filmed with an aspect ratio of 2.35 to 1, which is fairly wide. But this has an aspect ratio of 1.66 to 1. So they had to do panning and scanning on a letterboxed release. Now, to their credit, Vidmark did eventually pull that, and they remastered it and released it with the correct aspect ratio. So I'm going to have to buy this film a second time. You don't suppose they did that on purpose, do you? I've mentioned in the past, the video I did on the care and storage of LaserDiscs, that you want to avoid stacking LaserDiscs or packing them in vertically too tightly, because what you wind up with is something on the jacket called ring wear, which is caused by the disc making an impression in the jacket. And this one has ring wear. Okay. The rest of these are all LaserDiscs that I picked up from a seller that sells through the LaserDisc database, and that's ABCLasers. I've ordered from her in the past. She does a remarkable job at grading LaserDiscs, both the discs and the jackets. She also does a good job packaging the LaserDiscs. So I'm going to try and remember to stick a link to her store, ABCLasers, down there, and I'll try and remember to do the same for AJ's video Recyclery. This is a remake of a classic film, DOA. This one has Dennis Quaid and Meg Ryan. Now, I don't remember exactly which titles were affected, but when I entered in my collection, these ads to the collection at the database, 3 of them had mint marks that were different than those which were at the database. And that happens quite a bit, actually, because somebody will enter in the mint marks for a disc, which will indicate one manufacturer, and then whenever anybody goes and adds that title to their collection, they don't bother with checking the mint marks. And so if there was a second or even third facility that manufactured that batch or that run, then you wouldn't know by looking at the database. So I'm always careful about that, especially if I see that a disc is said to have been manufactured by Pioneer USA and the jacket says made in Japan. Now, that doesn't necessarily follow that it was made in Japan, because sometimes the jackets are wrong. But I found 3 discs in this batch that were indicated to have been manufactured by Pioneer USA, but were manufactured by Pioneer Japan. So they're now updated at the database, or they will be shortly, to say multiple sites, and then the mint marks for Pioneer USA and then the mint marks for Pioneer Japan. Firewalker. This was released by Image Entertainment under license from Media Home Entertainment, the second home video label in the world to exist, the first being Magnetic Video, which launched in '77, the same year that the VHS format came out. Media launched in 1978. I was just checking the logo here because when Media first started, they were under the name Meta Home Entertainment, or Home Video. They didn't have the I in there, and that was on purpose. He named it, the company, after his wife or his daughter or something. Firewalker. Prior to that, Image had only released porn on LaserDisc, which is kind of ironic that they were the largest publisher of porn in the U.S. on LaserDisc, because they eventually became the exclusive distributor for Disney on LaserDisc. Hear No Evil from Fox Video in widescreen. Now, the woman who runs ABCLasers is giving me a freebie on my next order because she said that this one, when she double-checked it, she found some discoloration on the jacket. But like I said, she's very meticulous about her grading. I personally don't see anything wrong with it. It's called Noises Off. Of course, I always notice when you can see the Twin Towers of the World Trade Center in the movie or on a jacket. This film has an amazing cast. Carol Burnett, Michael Caine, Denholm Elliott, Julie Haggerty, Maylou Henner, Mark Lynn Baker, Christopher Reeve, John Ritter, Nicolette Sheridan. Big Hitchcock fan. I already have this one on LaserDisc, although the LaserDisc I have is a Japanese release. It's still in English, but they have in-picture Japanese subtitles on that. This is the U.S. release, or one of the U.S. releases for Rope. What's interesting about this film is he wanted it to look like it was all seamless, with no edits. Now at the time, that was not technically possible, because the largest film cans held 10 minutes worth of film. So what he would do is shoot 10 minutes straight, non-stop, and then the camera would move to the back of somebody's jacket or on another surface with a solid color, and stop, reload, and then go again. Now it leads to some rather interesting tension, because the actors were always worried that they were going to mess things up because they were having to go for 10 minutes at a time, and they weren't the only ones having to do everything right. Cameras were moving all over the place, lights were moving all over the place, they were moving backdrops and parts of the set and so forth, all while the camera was rolling. So if you've never seen that film before, it's worth checking out for that alone. And it's also the first film that Alfred Hitchcock did that starred Jimmy Stewart. He used him, I think, 5 times. Vertigo, and Rear Window, and the remake that he did of his own film, The Man Who Knew Too Much. This film is hilarious, if you look at it the right way. The Trouble with Harry. Now, the trouble with Harry is, he doesn't stay buried. He gets buried, and then he pops up, and then they rebury him, and then he pops up again, and then they rebury him, and he pops up again. And so it's interesting to see why that is happening, and it's just a funny movie, I think. And introducing Shirley MacLaine. Also in this movie as a small child is Jerry Mathers, who would go on after this film to star in the sitcom Leave It to Beaver. He played Beaver. Jerry Mathers. Real young, but still good at delivering his lines and so forth. Another one I highly recommend, The Trouble with Harry. Also stars John Forsythe, Edmund Quinn, and Shirley MacLaine, and Mildred Natwick. I couldn't see it, it was out of focus eyes. But anyway, until next time, stay awesome. Oh, I have video games coming, and I bought more DVDs today, so I have 24 that I need to show, and including more VHS tapes and so forth. And until next time, stay awesome.